Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ladies' Tale podcast.
Wow, she gave me she was like 1 minute. Let me get through. Wow, no, I'm gonna do that to you. I'm gonna just start doing that to you. Like, no.
You know, I'm just gonna talk at the finger.
You're gonna be like, thank you for holding up the mic. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And then I said,
oh, will I never win? I will never win.
Yes, you did. You won twice.
Oh, I mean, how many years have we done this?
In 4 years, you've won twice. And one of them was really important because he was an adorable celebrity. And you won.
Well, it was just because my teeth whitening had like really started to take effect, noticeable, and I had to say it.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
As I smile again. And yeah, I forgot my earrings today, y'all. So, I mean, I'm Jade, though.
Oh, and I'm Winona, and I'm in a blue dress today. I'm so proud. It's not the red one, so I don't have to explain anything about my wardrobe today. I am proud. Or the gray one, so I have a wardrobe.
Yeah, so if y'all missed it, y'all need to go back to that other episode. Like, there's going to be another episode before this where Winona kept having dress malfunctions, and it just kept, like, sliding off her shoulder. And I was like, no! And I'm like, no! We wrote books. Yeah, we wrote literary life guides for pop poetry, which like really is books of poetry, but you know, we want to have a cool title. So and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy. And I thought I did my journey alone. And if only I mean we wrote a lot of books.
17 books. Well, and if almost 20 now. Almost 20.
If the uploading does not stop giving me trouble, we might have some by the end of this month. We might have 2 more up, but we'll see.
Woo-hoo!
Wow.
We'll see.
So you can get those books on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, and the first 2 on Audible.com.
Oh yeah, and then the 25 hottest indie authors, artists, and Advocate magazine, and I Thought Literary magazine. Okay, y'all, we do a bunch of things. You can find out everything you ladies are doing. I mean, I do mean everything,
and a few
including
things
the Patreon down there at the bottom. If you want to like hit it and like give your ladies some money, it's fine, it's cool. We love it. But if you don't, it's cool. You can find everything on www.andwethought.com.
Oh my word. So we're like actually finished this. And
I know, high five.
I didn't really interrupt you.
Thank you. No.
Oh my, it wasn't social. I know. I need hand sanitizer.
Like, okay. Anyway.
Okay, now we're back.
Y'all not here to hear about us. Here to hear from my wonderful guest with like the background that's amazing. So if you listen to this on the podcast, you might want to go on over to Facebook and look at his background. That's amazing. But you'd like to introduce yourself.
Oh, my name's Craig Rogalski. I am the managing agent for CK Talent Management, and we're a talent management agency, and I love to have iced coffee in the morning. I think that's something you guys were talking to me about earlier. Yeah, I love that in the morning. I have to have it every morning that I wake up, just to give me that little induction of energy.
Okay, so
in the morning.
I'm gonna completely go off subject real quick.
Okay, sure.
I'm sidetracked. Have you ever gone to Greece?
Have I gone to Greece? No.
Okay, when you go to Greece, have the Fredo there, and you will love iced coffee even more. So I hear, because I'm allergic to coffee, but I hear that it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. Like I drink it constantly, and then Winona tries to be like, don't have any more. And then I like secretly go off around the corner and order another one and drink it down really fast. It's so good.
I started with like regular iced coffee, and then I ratcheted up to cold brew, and now I'm like just on something nitro now, and I just like it. Yeah.
Right. But you have to do it. You have to do it. It's just like so much. Okay, so
but I'm gonna segue because I'm segueing.
Oh,
because I'm freaking proud of me. We don't do segues here. So I mean, you have to be on Nitro because you are a talent manager. Tell us, what are the responsibilities of a talent manager? Freaking great segue.
Well, the responsibility of a talent manager is to manage talent's careers. I know it sounds kind of a pass-through kind of definition, but basically what it is involving yourself in their lives and helping them make them better and enhance them. I look at myself as being somebody who enhances talent's lives and helps direct them in a way. They come with the talent. I just help them fulfill their dreams and provide a conduit for them. That's basically what I define as a talent manager. I know other people define it other ways, but that's the way I define it, in my opinion, is to enhance their talent. And really, a lot of times I stand in the background of my talent. I don't ever stand in front of our talent. I teach that to our senior agents and senior talent managers in the agency, that you never step in front of a talent. You're always stepping behind the talent. So usually in our agency, you won't see any of our staff on like red carpets or at the Oscars or the Emmys. because we prefer to stay in the background. We prefer to actually work, which most people don't in my industry. They just prefer to take the easy route. So I don't take the easy route. I always take the hard route, which has paid off in our agency's reputation that we've had in the industry. And we've attracted some great people. We just, I know you guys like this, but can I tell you the tea on a new talent we signed?
Absolutely.
Do I need to pause, or is this tea we can share with everyone?
No, you can share with everybody, because you'll be the first interview that we're going to tell this to, and we haven't even released it in a press release yet, but it'll be coming up, so you guys have an exclusive. We just signed Princess Diana's aunt as to manage her, and so we're so excited and honored that she chose our agency to manage her. She's an author like you guys as well, but she writes children's books. And she teaches in the inner city in Los Angeles to gang members and kids that have been abused and that sort of thing in school and stuff. She teaches English and literature over there. Wow. And so, so that's the ones we've signed. Besides the other salacious people, like, Global Face of Abercrombie and Finch is one of my clients, and people like that are in the industry, the regular model actors and stuff. But that was something that just happened to us last week, so I thought I'd share with you guys.
How freaking excited are you?
I know you excited. First, I have to say congratulations.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing, and wow. So again, Winona,
how excited are you?
I'm very excited to represent her. I think it's an honor. She's she was treated badly in the press. She knows that, and so she was looking for somebody to help her out, and she chose our agency. She actually reached out to us. We didn't actually reach out to her. She actually reached out to us by email one day, and I really didn't know anything about her too much. And then I started talking to her, and she's 75 years old. She's not young. She's 75, and grew up in England, and she grew up by Sandringham Estate. Actually, Warner Brothers did a documentary on her as well. So this is all stuff I'm just learning and just new with her coming on board. And she's been signed with us for less than 5 to 7 days. So I thought I'd save it for the show and let you guys know.
Well, we are super honored that you saved it for us. Like,
I feel like you should definitely, you might want to take that back and recycle, though.
Yeah, you might want to be like, I saved it. I sent it to a lesser podcast. Like, it's fine. I mean, to say it to y'all because y'all are like,
no. I mean, I know that, there's other people that have been calling me on the phone to do an interview about it, but I don't really like to do that many interviews, So, and that's another thing too. I really liked you guys, and that's the reason why I wanted to come on. For all you guys have achieved and all what you guys have stand for in the world and things that have happened to you in your past, I really am honored to be here in your presence, and to be basking in your presence here on the podcast. So,
Can I ask you a question when you're done?
Sure. No, go ahead. Are
you from LA? Are you in LA?
No. Nope. I'm on the East Coast.
I don't understand.
I'm in the South.
If you were doing all that you're saying about the basking in the presence and you're from LA, I'm gonna be like, okay, I understand. He's from LA. We're good.
Nope, not from LA, not born. Don't really go there that often. Prefer to stay away from the LA crowd.
See, now I feel like it might actually be truthful.
I love
this
LA.
Is scary.
I love LA for the weather, y'all.
Oh my God,
the weather is amazing.
Weather's nice, but you can't drag me there unless I have to have a meeting or something. I stay on the East Coast. I'm an East Coast, New York upstate boy, so I prefer to stay on the East Coast and very rarely go to the West Coast. And CK is an international agency, so we have talent all over. I have talent as far north as Denmark, as far west as India. I just signed Mr. India, the runner-up to Mr. India, as well. So that's one of my talent. So my other talent, like I said earlier, is the global face for Abercrombie and Finch, and he actually was on the cover of Vogue with Kate Moss, which is one of my clients as well. But no, I like what I do, but I prefer to keep the LA out of me. I don't want to.
I have to say that
get that LA stereotypical attitude. No, go ahead, Winona.
I was going to say that this is interesting because when he says that managers tend to stay behind the camera, he is not lying. I have asked so many talent managers, literally from around the globe, and so many of them like, I just want to stay behind. What would I say? What do you mean? What would you say?
Well, actually,
Jade, ask your question.
I know, right? So first of all, I have to clear up what you're talking.
Right.
We have we're writers, and so we take a creative license on a lot of things, right? So we wrote this fun, I guess we had now call it like a video drama.
Yeah,
That actually happens on this podcast, and it's about managers and their talent. So it's really fun to interview managers because you're like, oh, did I actually get that right, or am I wrong? Because you know how, as much as you take a lot of creative license on a lot of things. But my real question was, you manage authors. What do you? It's self-serving, I guess. How do you manage authors?
Yes, true.
Well, I actually don't manage authors, unfortunately. I don't. With her, I do. On that, I'm taking a chance on that because she's already got a following, and she's got a literary agent. So we're just managing the literary agent and what they do. But usually, directly, I don't represent screenwriters or producers or directors. That's a whole other area. That's like me being a plumber asking me to do brain surgery. You don't want a plumber doing brain surgery. So I stay in my wheelhouse where I know, who and what to represent and who to work with. We just about 2 years ago, we bought the largest talent agency in Africa. About 2 years ago, and brought that talent in to expose them to the rest of the world, because there is a lot of talent out in Africa, and people overlook it. They don't want to go into Nigeria. They don't want to go into other places like Ghana. Ghana's bubbling up. It started in South Africa. Now it's going to Nigeria. Got Nollywood over there, they call it. And then they're now moving into Ghana right now. And Ghana is becoming really, really big. And CK is the first international talent agency to step foot into Africa out there. And so we've made a big presence out there. And we've moved into other different sectors as well, too. But Africa is really something special for me, because there's a lot of talent that deserve to be heard. And the way I've always set up the agency was, I want talent to be heard. I want talent. It doesn't matter where they come from or what their backgrounds is. If they have a God-given talent, I want it to be heard, and I want them to expose to it. We have a talent developmental program in our agency where we take talent that other agencies wouldn't look at, and we literally give them the foundations. We help them put together their media kits, help them put together their reels and everything else like that. And we don't charge them for that. That's something in our agency that we do free of charge if they sign with us. And we represent them, but we help develop them as a talent, headshots and photos and stuff like that, and work with them on that, developing them as a talent. I believe in giving back like that. I think it's so very, very important. One thing people do not know about my agency, because I know you guys had asked me something about they didn't know or whatever. One thing they didn't know about my agency is I have more minority people in senior management jobs than any in the world. That people don't know that about me. So, and know about our agency. I have talent that are of minority status. We don't even know that we have senior. Have been with us 2 years and are very surprised when they find out. Yeah. And the reason why I don't advertise about that on websites is because I don't want to make capital off of what they've earnestly been able to achieve. So I don't do that. I'll do it in interviews like this. I'll mention it, but we don't advertise. I don't want to work off their backs and their hard, what they've earned to achieve what they have. So I like what I do. I enjoy coming to work every day. I find it fun. I find it laughable. I find it great sometimes telling producers and directors off that I'm booking talent with, because they have that self-ingratiating bubble of themselves in Hollywood. So that's a lot of fun too. I think a magazine article called me the Barracuda at one point. So I took that as a badge of honor.
You're like, well.
So I love doing it. I mean, I was in a boardroom one time, and a guy told me that because he was trying to act in a series my talent was in, and I said, well, you can't act in this series, and you can't produce it. And he says, well, Tyler Perry produces a series and acts in them. And I said, you're no Tyler Perry. I said, however, you want to put a false wig, a dress on, and run through the series, go at it, Haas. If not, shut up, sit in the director's chair, let me finish talking to your CEO. And I said that in a big boardroom in front of like 16 of their peers.
Oh. Wow.
I just and the guy still calls me on the phone.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, well,
I'm sorry. Would you mind? I'm taking notes.
Well, I can understand that.
For episode 4, we need notes.
I know, right? Because I was like, right there, and and sometimes I'm like, maybe we make these managers too mean. Well,
there we go.
I mean,
I just don't.
I
don't do it to be mean. I just do it because I'm not going to live in that bubble. Like there's that, like we talked about earlier, that LA self-ingratiating bubble about themselves. I'm not going to, I kind of go against the curve, and our agency's great. I mean, one of my executives worked for Sony, and he was worked for the head producer and casting directors for all the X-Men movies and Venom with Tom Hardy. And so, we've got a bunch of great talent in our agency. My other lady who runs my modeling division, she worked for the PR company, and her clients were Janet Jackson, the Chainsmokers, and Celine Dion. So we've got great executives in our agency. We just don't brag about them. You know, I think that's another thing when you look at other agencies, people tend to brag about their credentials and who they are and what they do and all that kind of stuff. And we really, if you look at our thing, except though maybe on the website, we, you know, intimate to that stuff. But otherwise, we don't just throw it in your face. You go to our Instagram. I think I interviewed one talent one time. She turned to me and said, "I love your Instagram page." She goes, "Because all your talent are always smiling all the time." She goes, "I go to another agency's page and it looks like mugshots." She goes, "That's what she said to me in the interview." All the headshots on it. It's just we approach it a different way. We approach it very organically, and we want our talent to be considered. You know, I've submitted talent for different ethnicity roles, and then when the casting directors come back to me and say, why did you submit them for this? I'll say, why can't that person prosecute that person in the scene? And they don't know what to say to me, so they cast the person.
Well, I think that he tells truth.
Like him a lot.
And I think that a lot of managers that we have talk to, even on record or not, because we know we're trying to write. They like the ones that I found that the people like their talent is very like invested in them. They tell the truth. Like they're just like, hey, I know no one else will tell you, but I'm telling you because I love you and I need you to know.
Yeah.
And then they're willing to fight. They're willing to fight.
But they're willing to
go
back.
Expand to expand their career. So like things that you'd be like, yeah, I have no business being here because it doesn't fit the correct lines, and you're like, no, but you have the talent for it. And I think that's amazing.
I know.
I actually
I told a guy who looked like LeBron James. I'm 5'7". He's 6'3". He asked me how he acted in a scene the other day. I said to him, do you want the truth? I don't lie to talent. I never lie to talent, but don't ask the question you don't want the answer. And I just checked him to see, and he says, yeah. And I said, you sucked. It looked like you opened up Acting for Dummies, went to the page on how I act angry at my wife, and you acted out that scene. I said, my talent don't give crappy scenes. And I said, next time you give crappy scenes, I'm going to yank something on you, is what I told him. And I was straight up with him. And I said, you go watch your scene, and you come back to me and tell me whether or not you think it's a crappy scene. And he came back to me later on, and he said, yeah, you're right. 100%. I said, you know why the director and producer told you it was your best scene ever? Because they want to move on. Because if you question it and they have to redo it, it costs them money. I said, but what do actors win, directors and producers win best Oscars and best Emmys for their whole series or their whole picture, the movie picture? I said, what do actors win? They win for best scene. I said, therefore, an actor can't afford to give a crappy scene. Wow. So if you don't like the scene, you make your voice heard.
So I'm going to say for all the actors
I feel like we should just have a book right now.
Right. But for all the actors in the room, like, rewind that, listen to that again, write that down.
Because he's telling you the honest to goodness truth.
That is truth. And wow. And yeah, I never really thought about it, but now that you made me think about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's
yeah, because they don't care about you. They don't care about, they want that done and they want to get out. Because if they have one crappy scene in the movie, they're still going to win an Oscar possibly. They're still going to win the award for the whole thing. You're not, because there's not a scene to judge by. There's not a scene that's going to be good. You know, I tell my talent this, your art, like your guys' art, is doing these podcasts and doing these books that you guys do and standing for my art is representing my talent. And my talent are my Picassos. And I want my Picassos to look good when I stick them out there in the environment and in the world. And I've had talent that have started off, I have a talent right now. He started off Tion. He started off so shout out to him. Tion started off I call him my child because he started off as this little embryo actor. And now he's like literally doing movies with like Michael Madsen, and he just booked a movie with Fabio. And he just did a movie with some guys from Panavision that I booked from him, that guys who left Panavision started their own studio. And so he's doing fabulous from what he started off as and in the industry. And him being an African-American male, it's tough in the industry as far as acting. You know, it's a very tough thing because you're already being prejudged going into the room. And I get very protective of him. I even get so protective sometimes I fight with staff on like what he needs to wear, on like what they want him to wear in a photo shoot. I'll get very like momager on them about him because I'm overly protective of him because I've raised him, I feel, since he was little. So I'm overly protective of him, you know, on what he's doing and what movies and stuff that he's in. But this industry, I think, is a lot different. I'll tell you another incident that happened to me. A well-known association came to me and said that I was up for membership in the association. And the director of membership, I turned to them and I said, well, I'm never going to attend your award ceremonies. You know, like, that's all right. You can be on a panel with Steven Spielberg or whoever. Like, that. And I said, well, I'll never be on your panels. I said, but how does this benefit my talent? They said, oh, you put the little logo on your signature line or whatever. And I said, okay. And this woman was in her 60s. She turns to me and goes, you're a rare bird. She goes, usually when managers and agents like get up for membership in our group, she goes, they're always talking about who they represent and how big of a baller they are and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, all I care about is it benefiting my talent. And she goes, I'm going to really encourage you for membership. Do you know what that association was? And she was the director of membership for. She was the television.
Wow.
And I've never gone to their awards. I've never gone to any of that. I just do it for the benefit of my talent. And I think that's what really the takeaway is that it's to be for the benefit of your talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do want one of those soft serve ice cream things.
I know. Like we all, like we've been talking about it for a while, and people have been like, I've been trying to find it, and I think they might. Like they don't make them anymore. Went out of business.
They don't?
No. So it was a grandfather. They made him for his kids because he was like, the kids wanted ice cream, and so the grandkids wanted ice cream. So they went to go make them, and then they recognized they had to wait 24 hours to make another one. And he was like, no. We can make a miniaturized one of the one you have in a restaurant, and he did. One that you can just put on your counter. It's like.
Does he sell them, or does he?
Yeah, and he sells them, right? And
oh wow.
So like during the pandemic, they sold out, and they have not restocked at all.
So I'm not sure like what.
So happened. I couldn't even buy it from the actual company. I had to go 4 companies in to find it.
So it's not like an Amazon thing where you can go on Amazon and grab it.
Anymore. It used to be right there, and now I'm not sure. And I know like a lot of businesses, even like small businesses, have been affected by Corona. So I'm not sure if it was like that's what happened. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it was upsetting to me because like we have people come on, we talk about it, and they're like, we want to see the link, and so we're like, all right, here's the stuff, here's the information, here's the link, and they're like, they just don't have anymore, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like, what's gonna happen? Okay, I feel bad because I'm a narcissist a little bit. I'm a narcissist, so I'm like, what happens when my machine breaks?
right.
And then I was like, I should be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you can't get yours. Instead, I'm like, mine breaks. What do I do?
They might be back. I mean, I think 2020 is a weird year for like a lot of businesses. Like it's just like they were doing okay, and then nothing happened. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It was a grandfather, so you want to think maybe he was just like, not gonna mess around with Corona out here. So let me just,
Oh, now I'm jealous that you guys got the only one left.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that makes me cry.
No, when I bought it, there was 3 left, so it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. 2 other people got the other one else. No, so that actually segues because it is 2020. How are talent managers taking this? I mean, everybody else is like they're doing great.
We're all like pivoting.
I won't lie to you. We're doing good. We just had to realign. The great thing about our agency is we were already a virtual agency. So we have an in-house legal department. Our lawyers were spread out across the world. Our staff was spread out across the world. So it really did not affect us. So we have talent in the UK, and UK's back filming and doing things right now. And so we're in hit. We have influencers and models who are doing influencing modeling stuff, which they take photographs and they do it online. So it's not something that really affected us. The acting though kind of did, but our actors came in, and we have a self-tape department where they just gave them practice sides, and they've been practicing in genres during the COVID-19 that they normally would not take on during regular work time when Hollywood's open. So they would go and they would do, like, say he's a drama actor and he wants to go and do comedy right now. So he'll go and do comedy, and he'll do some practice sides on comedy and get his comedy strength. And so our talent were constantly working. They might not have been on set, but they were constantly working administratively on things during that time. But we had talent signed to gigs and different things and musicals and stuff like that. And they've just been delayed. But hasn't affected the deals. I signed a client recently to a 3.5 picture deal, half meaning a short film. So, with a studio. So, I mean, deals are out there and they are happening. They're just, the filming has been delayed, but doesn't mean that they are not trying to lock in the actors to the roles. But 2020, yeah, it's been tough, but I'm not saying we're fabulous, but I'll tell you right now, from what I know in our crowd, we're the only agency that hasn't furloughed any of our staff.
That's
So nobody has been laid off or furloughed or any of that. We have held tight. Other agencies have furloughed or laid off.
I was going to say, how are you going to say you're not doing fabulous when you're like not furloughing anyone? You're fabulous.
You're doing fabulous. You're doing fabulous. Furloughed and everyone else is. But yeah,
you know, I always look at myself as here. I'm here to help the staff. I'm not here to be the boss. You know, it's very weird in our agency where I will not walk around saying I'm the boss, you know, or I'm the managing agent. I don't do that. I don't walk in. I'll turn to a staffer and I'll say, how can I help you? Or an intern, I'll say, how can I help you? How can I get you to do your mission and help you to do your mission to help that talent? I come in at a very subservient level. I almost miss not just being one of the crowd. You know, they changed their tone when I walked into a room in a Zoom room or whatever, and it bothers me, you know, because I'd rather, you know, just be one of the people that are in the agency and one of the staffers and hide amongst the crowd. But I'm here to help them more or less, and I gear myself to help them. It's just very important to me. And the people that I surround myself with in the agency, they're leaders. I mean, I gave her a special title, and there's this woman, and she's my senior executive in the agency, since it's the highest ranking underneath me and the vice president. She's even higher than the division directors in my agency. And I'm proud of her. I'm going to talk about her a little bit. So I want to be proud about her. She went to the University of Maryland, and she started the first African American women in business organization at the university there, and entrepreneurship to invest in African American women to start their own businesses. And it was like, it was a big thing when she interviewed with me. I said, you do that? And she goes, yeah. I said, how can I be involved? How can I help out? What can I do? It's so very, very important to me. And she told me how I could do that. And she says, just by employing me is doing what that is doing. And I did. I hired her right on the spot, and she's fabulous. She handles everything. And I tell her, she's my bad cop to me having to be good cop, because I have to be good cop all the time. And I have to, because I don't want to be bad cop. And I said, you're a bad cop. You go in there and you whip them into shape, and I'm the bad cop. But it's important to me to have people. So people that start off in the agency, this is something that's also interesting. Everyone who started off as in a senior agent manager level in our agency, they all start off as interns. Somebody didn't just walk into my agency and give me a job. I was at one of the alphabet soup agencies. You know, I'm bringing over $1 million portfolio. I'll say, no, you're an intern. And you work your way up to those positions. And I think people value themselves in those positions and have value. So I think that's another way to answer your question, Winona. It's about being successful, and how we weren't able to furlough people or anything like that is because people really want to be here. And they really want to be part of the agency. And they want to, it's a common good. I always call us like the board collective from Star Trek, because we're always just all there, and we don't sit on ceremony on titles in our agency. So it's important to me. It's important to me to give back, and it's important to be part of that. And I think a lot of agents distance themselves. I think they distance. You know, I was talking to Tion about the project, about the thing where I see a lot of these agencies donating to BLM, to Black Lives Matter. And it was angering me, and Tion and I talked about it. And I said, because why don't they start at home? Why don't they start in their agency? Why don't they start in their company and their corporation, cleaning up their mess, giving opportunity there? Don't just write a check. Clean up here. That is something that's important to me. And so I clean up my thing and I stand by what I do, and then I go out. That is important to me.
Absolutely. I can actually understand about when you say that you promote from within, because these people know, right? So I was an intern and I learned some stuff, and then I was like a regular staffer and I learned some more stuff. And so by the time I get to be in like a senior director, you're like, and I was all of you. So I know what you're dealing with, but hear me when I say this is what I'm dealing with. And they're like, oh, well then in that case, since you know what I'm dealing with, you know,
one of my guys in sports, who's my division director of sports, he was the captain of the University of Massachusetts football team. He was Victor Cruz's roommate, who's the NFL football player. And he worked his way up to that position. And he ran my talent advocacy office, which no other agency has. We actually let talent have a say in our agency. They work like an ombudsman, guidance counselor. If a talent has an issue with a manager, they can get in between them and the issue and help that work its way out. And he now runs my sports division in that situation. And, you know, I've had issues with staffers in that issue, but he knows what's coming up. Like you said, he knows how he got there and how he got into this position and worked himself up. And, you know, I'm proud of him because he came from a very bad family and worked his way up to have an executive career now. Now he has a production company on the side that he also has. And I'm extremely proud of that. I said, if he ever needs talent, you know, we'll work together on that. But he's still my sports guy, and he still does a great, fabulous job in there and provides that. And I think that's something. I had a staffer the other day who I interviewed, and on the call, he turned to me and he said, you know, well, thank you for your interview and everything. He's from Atlanta. And I said, you're hired. And he just almost was shocked. And he says, you know how many, he shocked and then cried. He said, you know how many interviews I've been to? Do you know how many doors I've knocked onto? And nobody, because of the way I looked or the way I dressed, would give me an opportunity. And he goes, and you're giving me an opportunity? And I said, yeah, I want you. I saw what your work is. He was a photographer. And I said, I saw what your work was on your website, and you're truly talented. And if you can bring that talent into this agency, I want you. I don't need somebody that went to Harvard. Believe me, I have had somebody as my assistant from Yale as my assistant. Let me tell you something. He got piddled out of the agency. I'd rather have somebody from Atlanta, from the Boondocks in Atlanta, come into this agency and work because they have a good work ethic and they want to be here. That's important. That's important to me. It's so important to give that opportunity, and it is what it is. Exactly. And I don't think that's an opportunity. I think people talk about that and do a lot of speak. My attitude is to provide by action. Provide by, it's important to me the way people's backgrounds are and to give them opportunities. And that's why CK's built itself into a 220 person agency. That's why we've expanded beyond that to other agencies and bought other agencies and acquired them as well too. And I believe in that. When other agencies write off, like I said earlier, Africa, they are writing that off. They're writing off India right now to the most part too. And there's so much talent over there, so much opportunity over there. And I just get so angry and so upset. And the economics in the country right now with the situations going on, you know, I just get so angry at that situation. I want to give people help. And so being a manager is not just always about telling a talent off or telling a producer off or doing that. Part of being a manager is also being there for the talent during the tough times. I have a talent right now who had a brain aneurysm. He was scared I was going to drop him out of the agency. And I turned to him and I said, no, I'm not going to drop you out of the agency. You're going to stay here. You're part of our family. And he says, well, my memory's kind of shot. It'll take me 8 to 12 months to get it back. I said, then it's fine. We'll step aside for 8 to 12 months and you get that back and we'll be here. And we check in with each other and we text and everything else like that with each other. That is so important to me, to let him know that you are talented and you are a person and that you are valued. And I think a lot of people in my industry do not look like that. They do not look at people like that and say, you are valued and you are important. But you know, there's fun stuff. So you know, you get to have fun. You get to. I love laughing. One good thing I'll give you guys is a good point of view. I always tell this to people I'm mentoring in the agency. One thing I'll tell you guys to do: always act stupid in this industry. Oh. Even if you're the smartest person in the room, always act dumb, man. Always act dumb in the industry. They will give you so much more if you act, I don't know, you know, kind of thing. They'll try to help you, and then you get more.
A lot of times we don't know, and as we've said on this show many times, we are just so happy with our fans that stay with us, because literally a lot of people we ask to be on this show is because we want to know, and like you can only Google so much.
True.
And then you, like, as a person explaining it to you is when I start to understand, and I know Winona. So that's why we always are trying to reach for other people. We're trying to be like, hey, what do you do exactly? Like, yeah. That's why I put you on my show, because I want to know what you do exactly. Because I've read about it, I've read articles, and this is just something with people with experience to come on and explain to you what they do, how they do it, and what's going on. And it kind of demystifies all the things as you're trying to just go about life. Like, okay, so I know what a casting director is. Not like I'm ever gonna be an actress, but it was good to have her on the show to learn about what's going on, and hopefully it helped somebody out there, one of our fans out there, as they were trying to be an actor or an actress.
So yeah, I mean, it's important. Sorry, Winona. I just want to tell you guys this too. I've researched you too, and I'm getting to know you more than what I've researched. And I really just I had an assistant, research you guys and provide me some talking points and all that kind of stuff like they do. Your assistants tend to do, and they try to feed you with all that information and plug it in your head in like flat 5 minutes or less. But as I read more about you guys, this side was mutual in wanting to get to know you guys and understand you guys and meet you. So it was infectious on me of what I read about you and the books you guys have done. And I mean, I even got briefed all the way down to your shot glasses.
We love those shot glasses, y'all. We love them. So yes. I mean,
they were briefing me all the way down to that about that, and I just so respect you guys. I am a fan of yours.
Thank you so much.
And you mentioned recording.
The shot glass.
I want to see. First of all, I want to apologize.
I want to talk about the shot glass for 2 seconds. It's my brainchild, right? The shot glasses are my brainchild, and it is literally. And I thought it was easy. I just took the book title and put it on a shot glass. So thank you for liking that and getting. Well, thank you, assistant, for me for briefing you on the shot glass. Thank you.
I would have never known because I've watched your videos, and I never like the wine glasses and the shot glass. I'd never known about that. And he dug it up and he found it, and I was like, wow.
Well, thank
you. These girls are awesome.
Yes. And I'm gonna say that on record.
So we might send it to you. The flask and the shot.
We might. I would be honored. I'd be so honored.
So where can people check out? I'm sorry, more about your agency because we have to wrap up because
Sure. It's at cktalent.com, cktalent spelled out.com, and you can find out more about our agency there and what we do and who we are and what we're about and what our ethics are. But I think we are a different agency. People have interviewed me and said we're like an Apple of talent agencies because we are just 2.0. We're not the cigar smoking, leatherback chair kind of agents and managers. But it was really an honor to come on here and see you guys and meet you and understand more in the physical presence that we're able to under COVID to meet each other. It really was. It was an honor for me to be here, and I really like what you're doing. And if there's anything that our agency can do to help, just feel free to reach out.
If only we weren't pop poets. We could maybe talk. But we are just pop poets. So what can we do?
So I was going to be like, I'm sad now. So if we come visit your agency, since you don't do the cigar smoking and the leather chair, there's no good scotch? Dang it.
No, I'll take you for scotch.
Okay, scotch. Right. We're back on.
But I need to get some of that stuff from the ice cream machine that you guys got going on with the daiquiris and the whole other stuff going on. I need to be like invited over to your dad's place to the bar you guys created. I need to be invited over there and play pinball.
There it is. That's what
I think we need to do a competition. And I need to bring a karaoke machine. I can't believe Dad doesn't have a karaoke machine. Well, I mean, come on.
He doesn't sing. So he doesn't sing. So I guess he's like, hey, you know what? I don't sing, so no one.
But he's got the headphones. Just borrow the headphones from the other people. He can put them on.
Well, maybe
block the bad sounds.
Maybe that's how it will go. I guess I'll wrap us up.
Yes, Jay.
Okay, you can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. And since this is the Ladies Tale podcast, like I can't do the ending because I don't know it and I've written it down somewhere. But first, you have to go check out the ladies tab and go down to the middle and see the charities that we proudly support. Now keep in mind, y'all, this is October, so this is Domestic Violence Month. So you might want to check out Powerful Beginnings. They are doing some great work and we appreciate everything that they have been doing. And yes, we know this is 2020, so money might not be a thing for you, and that's okay. Maybe you can support them with time, or you could just add them and say thank you for doing this wonderful work in the world, because we all need encouragement. Now, Winona, wrap us up because maybe you remember the tagline to this.
I do remember the tagline to the Ladies Tale podcast. It goes, what you live can be written down, but it is the way that you put it, it's the way that you live it that decides how you write it on the page.
That's not it, but you know
Close
what?
enough.
We're still working on it.
You really called me out on that.
I did, because I have to, y'all. I have to. Peace and love, y'all.
From Winona
and Jade. Oh, yeah, thanks for listening.